Hello everyone, my name is Harish and I am starting this tutorial series about Chef. Chef is a configuration management software which is out there in the market with many other configuration management software like Ansible or Puppet. So we will be going through this training and learning Chef in detail, and we'll be seeing various tools and ways how Chef is helpful for us. So before even getting into Chef, let's first see what is a configuration management and why we should care about it. If we go to Wikipedia and search for configuration management, Wikipedia will say that configuration management is a system engineering process for establishing and maintaining consistency of a product performance, its functional value, and also its physical attributes. So what it means is during the period of time, your system should be consistent with all its physical attributes. Like if you are using some port on your system or on your server, it should be similar and same. And if you are using some software or some jars or libraries, they should all be consistent and they should all work together in a continuous fashion, and they should not be changing or they should be working properly throughout its lifespan. And what configuration management also does, it also provides a verification system for the performance through testing of any system. So whenever you build or create a system, you can do its performance test using configuration management. And then you can use pre-configured code to accomplish tasks. We will be seeing what it means in detail in future tutorial videos. So let's take an example of understanding this configuration management because it's a bit complicated definition. So I think an example will be easier to understand. So suppose you are working on your system and you have been asked to set up a web server with a DB. So what you do, you log into that system and you set up install a web server, suppose Apache web server, and then you install a database package, and then you are good to go and you are ready to deploy your applications on that server. So now what happens if you want to put more servers like this web server with a DB? Now you have four more servers which you have to configure. So if you go with this way of directly logging into that system and setting it up, so you have to log in into all this system and you have to maintain the consistency of the installable files or the softwares and also the library management. So everything you have to do manually. So I think you can see the problem here. So the problem is you have to manually do all the things. Now it will get more complicated if suppose you want to introduce now new software in between. You want to put some load balancers. Now again you have to maintain, along with the servers, you have to maintain load balancers also. So how can we solve this problem, or how configuration management or tools like Chef helps in this problem? So what happens in this case, we introduce Chef server in the middle, and you write your configuration code on your local system, and then you push it onto Chef server, and then Chef server will take the responsibility, or it will do all the configuration and management of all servers, and it will maintain them those servers. So you write that code once on your local system, and then you push it to Chef server, and then Chef server will take care of all your configuration management. So what is the benefit of doing this? So the main benefit, I think you can clearly see, is time saving. Then you prevent errors and mishaps, like if some port is to be open or some service has to be enabled which is not enabled, and it get pushed to production, then you will have an issue or errors will be happening. And also you can reduce the cost. So instead of with time, you can save cost because you will be not logging into every system and wasting time. So it will also save you cost. And then, and any configuration management system should provide a code reuse. So I should not be writing a code, and for every server, I should that a configuration management tool tells me that you have to change those. So let's take an example. So if you have server, if we go back to our all web server, different web servers. So every web server will have different IP address. So how we will maintain that? So any configuration management tool should provide a way to do code reuse. So let's take an example. So here is an Apache server installation example in Chef. So don't worry about the code, and if it doesn't look familiar, it is all based on Ruby. When I say it's based on Ruby, it's not exactly runnable as a Ruby code, but Chef internally uses Ruby to work with your all configuration code. So if we see here, what's happening here is we are telling Chef to install a package that's name is httped, which is Apache server, and then we are asking it to do the action of installation. And then in the second block, we are asking Chef to configure that package that has been installed, that Apache server, and then create index.html, and then write some content into that. And then we are asking in the third block Chef to start that um, server. So what happens in this case? If I write this once, I can push it into Chef, and Chef will push everything into all the servers, and all my servers will be up and running with this same configuration, and all the services will be started there. So this is one of the example, and we will be looking into all this in more detail, all the code block, what they are doing, and how we can write that. So any good CM tool should also provide use of variables. So what I mean with this is, so if you're setting up some database, you have to give that database user ID and password. So I should not be hard coding it into my configuration code, and should be able to get it through environment or some other way. So Chef also provides that. So you can define database and user like MyDB user and MyDB password. And then in my code where I will be configuring the database, I can use that those variables and then replace them in real time. We will also be seeing this, how to use all these variables into tool, into creating configuration. So this was just an introduction about configuration management and why it is important, and why should we care about it, and we should learn about it. And in my next video, we will be installing different software on our local environment and setting up our environment to work with Chef. So I'll see you in next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.